I guess that'll kick my statement off, right? Yeah, just a great team effort all the way around. Ton of different contributions from everybody. So it was, couldn't have probably scripted it much better than that. So I said, you know, I had a lot of concerns and worries about Southern Miss coming in, watching film on them and some of the things that they do really well. And you know, I told our kids afterwards, I mean, I certainly didn't expect that. And maybe more than anything, it says something about our team and our kids. So I was really proud of them.
I asked Kylie, you know, talking about, again, this team like last year, there's just a number of players you guys can lean on or go to that might have their hot day. I mean, she got the party started, so she's like, I don't know, I just do the same things I normally do, and this time she was, I mean, what do you say about a person like her who works hard and then when it's her time, she just fills up the bucket?
Yeah, just so valuable. You know, she does. She shows up every day and she's consistent. You know what you're going to get out of her every day. And her effort, her energy, her ability to be coached, you know, all those things remain constant. And then from there, sometimes it just depends. You know, sometimes she hasn't had maybe quite as many points or maybe a stat line like she does today, but she's just as valuable because there's so many things that she does outside of just putting the ball in the basket. But, you know, how she started the second half, you know, that says it all right there. I mean, she comes out and bangs a big three for us right out of the gate, second half. So just, you know, kind of sending a message that there's going to be no letdown, and then comes out and gets a steal right away. Just toughness play. So just love the edge and the grit that she plays with, and just proud of her growth and really settling in and looks really comfortable out there.
You look at them, right? The key stats you guys look at, right? Bench points, paint points, yards off turnover. I mean, you guys killed in every category. You shot 50% for the game, scored 20 every quarter. Like, I know this is kind of like the dream scenario, but was there also maybe a dose of reality in your post-game speech about, hey guys, look, right? We're not playing this team every week when we start playing conference. So overall, what do you think about the way your non-conference has ended and how that prep is going to get you guys ready for UIC and conference?
Yeah, I think if you look at our entire non-conference, you know, certainly we've been challenged. We've had some really, you know, talented teams, talented individuals we've played against. We've played against some really good guards. We've played against, I feel like, a lot of really good post players. We've played against teams that, you know, pressure and are up and down. We've had a little bit more of the deliberate half-court action. So I feel like we've seen a little bit of every different style of play, which ultimately hopefully prepares you, you know, for conference play. You know, halftime, one of the things we talked about, I would like to have seen us guard the three-point line a little bit better. I mean, I think they'd only hit 2 threes, but it felt like a lot more than that because I felt like they had a lot of open looks, which was not necessarily the game plan, you know, just hoping they missed. So, you know, I think we tried to tighten that up a little bit, and then obviously Grayson inside can be a handful, and we knew that. So I think more than anything, trying to focus on the second half specifically, just on covering the three-point line a little bit better, having a little more recognition there, and then, you know, still being able to guard a really good post player. So, but I don't know. I think our non-conference has hopefully prepared as well. There's still a lot of things that we have to work on. Our kids aren't. I don't think our kids will be complacent at all coming out of this. It feels good heading to break off a win like this. But I think coming back, you know, we've got a big stretch ahead of us. You got 20 games on our schedule, and they all count the same. Our kids understand that, they know that, and we just have to try to chip away one at a time. The first one's going to be on the road, a place that we lost that last year. So I know that's not probably too far out of some of our kids, and at least my memory.
Right. So for you, right, this is your third season with the team. First year you take over the team, right, you have literally a skeleton crew and you got them 20 wins. Last year you had a more concrete team, you give them 20 wins. This year, now the outside's different and your still guys are kicking butt. What is it, what magic do you have, Coach? Like, what is it about the way that you coach or the way you develop? What is it about your teams that seem to find a way, no matter who's veteran or who's new, you guys have a great cohesive unit so far for 2.25 seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just, you know, it's all about, you know, getting the right pieces to the puzzle, and ultimately as a coach, that's what you're trying to do is get the best fit and the right pieces to the puzzle, and kids that fit what we do. But then you got to give them a lot of credit, and I think especially this year's group, and it's been consistent across the board. But you know, in your first year, you know, nobody kind of knows what the standard is or what our standards are, like how we're going to do things. Certainly, you have standards of a program and things like that, but just how we're going to do things. And so it's establishing that and then having more continuity with that, heading into your second year. And then you look at a team like this year, it's very new. I mean, we had 8 new kids and only 6 returners. So I think you got to give them a lot of credit and just, knowing that this was probably the best fit for them and the right fit, and then just allowing us to be able to coach them, to be able to push them, get them out of their comfort zone, learn what it takes to be a great teammate for each other, what they have to do to be successful. So there's obviously a ton that goes into it. I don't think it's any magic other than kids have really come in and embraced what we've tried to do, and we've tried to work really, really hard at it and do things the right way, and fortunately we've had some success doing it. But it's hard to win. Everybody's trying to win. It's really hard to win. So a game like this where you put a lot of time, effort, and energy into it, it's nice being able to head into break feeling at least good about this, and then getting ready for what we know is going to be a really, really tough conference schedule. I mean, it's a talented Missouri Valley Conference this year, no different than it has been, but I think with a lot of depth. So it'll be interesting. We got to chip away.
Right, so you got 8 new faces, but you've also got Lacey back, you got Kira back, Cayman, right? You've got certain pieces that have been through this, right? We're 2.6 seconds away from the tournament title. How do you lean on them, or how have they taken over the reins to say, hey guys, look, now is the most important time to play our best basketball, and it's going to be war every night. You got to get ready for it. But as you know, experience plays a part in them getting through that.
Yeah, I think it's probably, I talked about it earlier before the season ever started. I think we have a really good mix of returners that have had those experiences, and they understand without me just telling them how valuable each game is, how valuable each possession is. And then, and that comes from, some highs and lows of last year, having a lot of highs, but then finishing in a disappointing way, how we didn't want to finish. And so, they've gone through, and I think they've learned and they understand that. And then you couple that with the experience of 8 new players. But the players coming in, they're hungry. I feel like they came in with something to prove, a chip on their shoulder. They came here for a reason. And so I think it's just been a really good blend of those kids aren't coming in complacent. You look at a Sarah Lithicum, she takes a chance in her last year to kind of go against the grain and get out of her comfort zone. She's not coming here to just go through the motions. She's coming here for a reason. So I think that, and then a Kylie Bess and Katie Paul, I think you go down the line, you've got those new kids that have come in are hungry, and it's an opportunity, and they've had a chance. And so I think they've really come in and embraced that. So I think that helps with, hopefully not having to learn a lot of tough lessons along the way, that it's just a standard in a way that we go out and play every night is what I'm hoping.
All right, last one for me. I know Brian's got a few. So watching the way that Zilly plays, right? I like the fact she's got a mid-range. I like the fact she can see, and she's very aggressive. She's very electric out there. Is it fair to say you could kind of see her being maybe the new version of like Anaya Thomas? Because to me, she's got a lot of key attributes like Anaya did.
Yeah, she does. I think she has a lot of things potentially in her game that is really going to fit well with what we do. It's I think the thing I'm most proud of her, she's continued to trust the process. It's tough. You go from playing maybe 20 minutes at Murray State, and but they play a completely different style we do, and she's had to figure that out a little bit. She had 5 weeks where she was out with an ankle injury, so I feel like she's 5 weeks behind everybody else, and you can't make up for that lost time. So, I think you start to see glimpses out there, like you did today. We certainly see in practice, and so what I've just kept preaching with her is just continue to trust the process, and just, you're going to gain your own confidence and all that. Once you start figuring out practice, now you have opportunity to figure out in a game, and so that's starting to translate. But she has some things to her game that we really need and value, and that's why we brought her here, right? Felt like she could impact us in different ways, and so it'll continue to be a process. She's only played 1 year, so even though she's technically been in school and is a junior, she's still in her sophomore year eligibility wise. So really a young kid that's still working to figure things out. But I think she's got a ton of potential for us, and as you see, just a different style of game that I think can really help us.
What's it like having Kylie on the roster? You know, that surname's a very basketball-rich name, and Lady Bears have a rich tradition, so it's kind of a cool marriage of the two. So what's that kind of been like?
I mean, she's been great. I mean, you can tell she's a coach's kid. You know, she has a high IQ. She understands what it takes to be successful. Like, she's got the work ethic. She's got all those intangibles, and I think she embraces them. Like, sometimes kids can get hung up on, just the stat sheet. And she's a kid that just goes out and works her tail off, and just brings so much value to our team outside of just, being a standstill shooter. I think that's one of the things that I've really tried to do with her here, that might be a little different from the previous places she's been, that I think they've looked at her, or in their systems, they've used her more as just kind of a stationary shooter. And I feel like she's got so much more to her game than that, and I think she's started to display that. I mean, her slashing, her rebounding, defensively, she's impacted us, and then obviously, she can score. She can put the ball on the floor, as you saw tonight, and be able to create getting to the basket, but also can knock down open threes. So I just really like her versatility and how she fits with what we do. And again, I think it goes back to, she doesn't have, it's not like she has 3 years to figure it out. She came in, she's got 1 year left, and I think it's just really worked hard to embrace and pick up what we do and kind of figure out her way with what we need her to do. And it's great seeing her play a game like today. I thought she really impacted us in a lot of ways, and she's been doing that. Maybe not scoring as many points as she had, but she really, I think, has allowed the game to come to her. So it's been good to see.
Yeah, and you played against her last year in the conference. Do you remember seeing her and being like, she's a nice player? Do you remember going against her last year?
Yeah, not really at all, because, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think other people might think of things differently. I'm so focused on our team and obviously the opponents, but I don't really go into games thinking like, I knew she was a nice player, but I don't think about it for us. She's on another team, so I don't think about it for us. But I do really remember her, in terms of the scouting report is, don't let her get loose at the 3-point line, and so I think we're kind of using her in a little different way than maybe, SLU did, or even Indiana State. But I just think, she really has fit and filled a lot of needs that we have without just being, a stationary spot-up shooter.
Oh, good. Awesome. Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Coach.
Same to you.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yep.